This video is dedicated to Sergeant Michael Ralph, a specialist in explosive ordnance disposal, killed while on UN duty in the former Yugoslavia. A member of the 22 Field Engineer Squadron, Sergeant Ralph died on August 17, 1992, when his vehicle struck a powerful anti-tank mine while driving through a previously cleared area. Yugoslavia. A Canadian APC is shattered by an anti-tank mine. Kuwait. Unexploded mines continue to claim several casualties a day. Somalia. Mines and booby traps threaten peacekeepers at every turn. Cambodia. Bulletins alert UN forces to newly identified minefields. For soldiers on United Nations duty throughout the world, mines are a deadly and ever-present danger. Survival often depends on the basic battlefield skill called mine sense. Understanding the threat and avoiding incidents by knowing how and where mines are likely to be placed, and knowing how to react when they are encountered.
Don't move!
This video, the first in a two-part series, is about the first of those approaches, understanding the threat and avoiding incidents. The mine era began during the First World War. The first tanks had only just appeared when anti-tank mines were introduced. Anti-personnel mines soon followed. Both proved to be valuable weapons, blocking access and denying land to advancing troops and armor. By the Second World War, mines had become a highly developed technology. They accounted for some 20% of all tank losses and untold thousands of infantry and civilian casualties. In more recent conflicts, such as Vietnam and the Persian Gulf War, anti-tank and anti-personnel mines both played critical roles in the course of battle. In simple terms, a mine is an encased explosive designed to damage vehicles or to kill or wound personnel. They take many forms, from crude improvised devices to complex weapons hard to detect, recognize, or neutralize. UN personnel are most likely to encounter two distinct kinds: anti-tank mines and anti-personnel mines. The anti-tank mine is designed to attack the tracks, belly, or sides of an armored vehicle. These mines use two main effects to cause their damage. Blast mines use a large quantity of explosives, usually 8 to 12 kilograms, to break the tracks and suspension system of a tank, leaving it immobile and vulnerable to direct fire. Shaped charge mines use a much smaller charge to create a hot jet of gas which penetrates the tank hull. A chain reaction then causes ammunition stored in the tank to explode. Anti-personnel mines are usually designed to maim rather than kill. Their purpose is to demoralize and to redirect resources from the battle to casualty evacuation. There are three main types of anti-personnel mines. Pressure-activated mines are detonated by a pressure of from 2 to 10 kilograms, the pressure of a light footstep. They contain a small explosive charge and often a small quantity of metal to create serious fragmentation injuries to the foot and lower leg. Bounding anti-personnel mines are usually activated by a tripwire or sensor. An initial explosion sends a cast iron casing up about 1 meter. Then, a second explosion sends shrapnel in all directions. The mine has a large kill and incapacitating wound area. Directional mines, such as the claymore, have a distinctive curved front. Packed with high explosives, these highly lethal mines spray ball bearings or metal fragments over an arc of about 60 degrees. Some models are command-controlled. Others are activated by a tripwire. Modern technology permits also to scatter anti-tank and anti-personnel mines from aircraft. Becoming active several minutes after striking the ground, scatterable mines are often triggered by a sensitive switch designed to detect such things as vibration, motion, or changes in magnetic field. Mines of this type can also be delivered remotely by artillery. Random placement of these mines and placement in rear areas presents special hazards because their location is so unpredictable. Mines are used in quite different ways in conventional and unconventional conflicts. In conventional conflicts, in which international conventions are generally honored, most minefields are marked as a warning to the enemy and for the safety of friendly forces. Even when minefields are not marked, their placement in conventional warfare is somewhat predictable. Protective minefields are laid for the close-in protection of a unit. If time permits, the mines may be buried, but they are often surface-laid. The minefield is marked by a fence. Protective minefields are closely observed and covered by the direct fire of the protected unit. Tactical minefields are laid to delay, channel, or break up an enemy advance. These fields, too, are carefully marked. Often very large in size to prevent rapid breaching, tactical minefields are usually sighted so that direct and indirect fire can cover the entire field. Various types of mines, tripwires, and warning devices may be incorporated in the minefield. Nuisance minefields are laid to delay and disorganize the enemy and to hinder use of an area or route. Nuisance minefields are seldom covered by fire or observation. For that reason, anti-lift devices and booby traps are used to prevent moving or tampering. Nuisance minefields are well camouflaged or concealed to increase the element of surprise. The hazard presented by this type of minefield, even to friendly troops, is very high. In addition to mines, a battlefield is often littered by unexploded munitions and damaged vehicles still containing explosives. These present an extreme hazard, especially if the munition has been fired but has not yet detonated. Where unexploded munitions are concerned, the survival rule is, if you did not personally drop it, you must not pick it up. Minefield markings vary tremendously depending on the materials available, terrain, methods of mine emplacement, time available to complete the task, and other factors. Standard minefield fencing consists of one strand of wire on the enemy side and two strands of wire on the ends and friendly side. Pickets are placed at 15-meter intervals, and triangular signs are placed on the top wire at 50-meter intervals. The former Warsaw Pact countries use a similar system. However, on occasion, they use diamond or rectangular boards on long posts erected near the minefield. The arrow on the diamond board indicates the direction to the nearest safe lane. Other materials, such as knife rests, cattle fences, or tripods, are occasionally used. In jungle terrain, a simple broken branch, a bamboo stick, or a pile of rocks pointing in the general direction of a mine may be all that you will see. In unconventional situations, which include most UN operations, where terrorists, guerrillas, or similar forces are active, all of these rules are thrown out the window. In these situations, individual mines or booby traps are not marked because this would defeat the elements of surprise and terror sought by the belligerents. Instead, You must think constantly about where mines and booby traps might be located based on past practice. Watch carefully for signs that mines may be present, such as disturbed ground, damaged vehicles, and dead animals. The survival rule: all terrain and all structures are potentially mined or booby-trapped. Among the most popular targets for mining are areas or structures associated with water, food, hygiene, and other basic human needs. The survival rule: beware of areas associated with basic human needs. While off-the-shelf anti-tank and anti-personnel mines are frequently used, UN soldiers are also likely to encounter improvised explosive devices, which include culvert mines, modified artillery shells or bombs, drums of gasoline or napalm, and explosives such as dynamite or Semtex, with an infinite number of variations on the theme. Knowing that these threats exist, it is essential to be careful and alert at all times. When an unmarked mine is identified or suspected, the survival rule is: stay clear and report it immediately to your superior. The complexity, unpredictability, and volatility of many such devices calls for special expertise to neutralize them safely. So a closely related survival rule is: leave mine disposal to the field engineers. Booby traps are terror weapons, usually hidden where troops are most likely to encounter them, in positions evacuated by retreating forces, and in buildings that could be used for shelter. Washrooms, sleeping quarters, storage areas, abandoned vehicles, and piles of rubble too are danger areas. A tripwire stretched behind a door could release a bounding shrapnel mine as the door is opened. Windows too are often booby-trapped. A mine with an anti-lift switch is secured to the wall or floor beside a window. The pull switch is wired to the sash. In all theaters, war prizes are very likely to be booby-trapped. Rifles, pistols, ammunition clips, helmets, knives, clothing, and virtually any other attractive object can conceal or be attached to an explosive device. The survival rule: avoid touching or removing foreign objects, no matter how attractive. To review, all troops in all theaters should expect to encounter mines and improvised explosive devices. On the battlefield, expect to encounter protective and tactical minefields in the vicinity of troop emplacements. Watch carefully for minefield fences or markers, above surface mines, triggering devices such as tripwires and tilt rods, disturbed ground, damaged vehicles, and dead animals. Make sure that you are familiar with the shapes and identifying features of mines known to be used in your theater. In areas where unconventional forces are operating, learn their patterns of explosives use. Stay particularly alert for booby traps in and around buildings, vehicles, and places where it is natural for troops to congregate. In short, remember these survival rules. If you didn't drop it, don't pick it up. All terrain and structures are potentially mined or booby-trapped. Beware of areas associated with basic human needs. Report all mines, confirmed and suspected, immediately. In the meantime, stay clear. Leave mine disposal to the field engineers. Avoid touching or removing foreign objects, no matter how attractive. To conclude, mines pose an extreme threat to UN troops operating in all theaters. To avoid becoming a victim, stay alert. Take your time, remember your training, and call for field engineer assistance. Your own life, and that of others around you, is at stake. In United Nations peacekeeping operations around the world, mines are a serious threat to all ranks and services. In the field, survival depends on mine sense. Understanding how to avoid incidents and knowing how to react when mines or booby traps are encountered. This video, the second in a two-part series, is about how to react.
Ready on 2. Fire.
The situation in the introduction is all too common. An unmined roadway, flanked by mined verges and turnoffs. Standard procedure is to drive in the center of paved roads, trails, or ruts. If obstacles or diversions are encountered, don't turn off the road, don't turn into gateways, and don't walk on the verges until they've been searched for mines. On roadways that have not been checked for mines, an observer usually precedes the vehicle. If mines are sighted or suspected, withdraw in your vehicle's own tracks until clear of the minefield.
Okay, I've spotted an anti-tank mine up there. So
report its location immediately.
I'll stop you here. I'll back you up.
Be careful, even when traveling in the tracks of an unknown vehicle. The tracks might be mined once the previous vehicle has passed. If caught in a mined or booby-trapped area while on foot, withdraw, if possible, along your entry route. Alternatively, make for the nearest safe area, such as a paved road. To reduce the risk of triggering hidden pressure mines, crawl on your stomach to distribute your weight. Feel with your hands for small anti-personnel mines or their triggering veins on the surface. Use a feeler, such as a lightly held pen or stick, to detect tripwires. Gently prod for buried mines with a knife, bayonet, screwdriver, or other suitable tool until clear of the mined area. Mark each mine you discover as a warning to the rest of your unit. Then, when you are clear of the minefield, note and report its location. A similar kind of threat is posed by unexploded bombs and shells. They are often extremely unstable and may have been deliberately placed for remote detonation. A simple rule applies. Do not approach any munitions on the ground. Pass by at a safe distance and report their location. Carefully concealed booby traps are an especially important threat in infantry operations. Retreating forces routinely hide them where advancing troops are likely to congregate or seek shelter. Buildings, vehicles, and attractive objects are favored targets. Steps, doors, windows, washrooms, tools, wire, furniture, war trophies, and a host of other objects may conceal or be attached to explosives. Upon discovering one booby trap, you must assume that others exist nearby. Don't touch anything. If possible, mark the booby trap position. And withdraw by the same route used to go in. Report your findings to higher authority. Mark the position of the building on your maps. and assist the engineers who will follow by sketching the building's floor plan and indicating the position of the booby trap and other objects. Make sure that you are familiar with local booby trapping techniques. It will help you to anticipate some of the dangers you may encounter. Always be suspicious of objects in unusual, very conspicuous or obvious positions. Such things as loose or damaged boards, wire, and furniture out of place are warning signs. When a mine or booby trap is triggered, injuring a member of your squad, it is crucial that you stop, think, and use your mine sense. To avoid becoming the next casualty, you must resist the urge to run directly to the injured soldier's aid.
Nobody move!
Your first step should be to warn others around you.
Look, you all right?
Try to determine the casualty's condition by direct observation and by calling to him or her.
Look, you all right?
Take account of the situation, then call for assistance from engineers or assault pioneers and from medical personnel.
India 3-6, we have a casualty. We are in a minefield. We require medical and engineer support. Over.
If they are immediately available, the best thing you can do is to leave the minefield following your entry route and stand by to offer directions and assistance. If specially trained assistance is not immediately available, it may be up to you to clear a safe lane to the casualty, about 1 meter wide. Enter the minefield crawling on your stomach. Feel for tripwire and surface anti-personnel mines, and prod for buried mines as you go. Every effort should be made to mark and bypass any mines detected using anything at hand, such as marks scraped in the earth, piles of earth or stones, or sticks placed upright in the ground. Continue methodically until the casualty is reached. When you reach the casualty, clear an area around him or her that will permit you to safely carry out minimum first aid. You may have to carry or drag the casualty along the path you have marked. Do not allow stretcher parties into the minefield until a cleared lane at least 2 meters wide is completed. To review, assume that all terrain and every building, vehicle, and object in hostile territory is potentially mined or booby-trapped. Drive in the center of paved roads, trails, or ruts. If, while driving a vehicle, you sight or suspect mines, withdraw in your vehicle's own tracks until clear of the minefield. If caught in a mined or booby-trapped area while on foot, withdraw, if possible, along your entry route. Otherwise, crawl on your stomach to the nearest safe area. Mark and report any mines or booby traps you discover. Give unexploded munitions a wide berth. Always be suspicious of inviting objects in unusual, very conspicuous or obvious positions. They may be booby-trapped. When a mine is triggered, keep a cool head to avoid becoming the next casualty. Counter-mine warfare is everyone's responsibility. Canadian troops in every UN theater have access to a mine information office. When you're overseas, check it out early and often. Up-to-date knowledge, good training, and constant vigilance are the best guarantees of your safe return.